Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Yes, 32 flavors. Tonight we go to Alcatraz for the 1996 classic, The Rock. And also this week is Vegas for a big FNT Vegas meetup. I think I heard something about that. I think I'm gonna be there. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. So I got a guy who's gonna go to Vegas who's gonna be on here tonight on this panel. My first time on this channel, so it's gonna be great. And we got a fine few human beings already all up in here. AFK Bard. Hello, sir. Nice Foxx little icon there. And we got Lord Thoth. Hello. Diablo Dame, hello to you. Welcome, humans. Welcome to Alcatraz. Tonight we're going to talk The Rock, but before I do that, we're going to introduce our fellow humans. Hail, right? Hail indeed. We're going to introduce our guests. We got one who's on the way, but I got the other guys still here. Commenting is dangerous. Howdy there. All right. The first off, you absolutely are in eternal romance with him. His humor is one that knows how to stick many of landings. He is a barber, maybe, and he goes mad about it. He is mad again.
No. Try again. I'm not a barber. Nope. No, that is the channel name is Mad Barber Entertainment because I do the channel with my buddy 14 Barber, who is a barber. You combine the two. Come on, send me back. Do it again.
Nope.
Roll it over. Roll it over. Good night, folks. Good night. Hey, how's it going? Where's Jed? He owes me a story.
He says he might not be all there today. So I said, "Oh, that's gonna be." I did send the link invite, so in case he can show up, we'll see. But I got another guy supposed to show up here. So either way, it all works out. So what's new, Mad? I know you got your Culture Casino streams you do. What else is new in Mad Barber World?
No, Culture Casino has his Mad streams that he does. Like I don't.
Mad streams
what's happening right now? Yeah, Culture and I, we do a couple streams together throughout the various. Like we're also Peanuts in the Dump. If you didn't know.
You heard, salutes his fellow veteran, mad as he is. Mad as he is. I see what he did there.
I just caught that, yeah. Hey, LDG, I still need help with my internet.
You heard the man. Help him. Man, we got 9 all up in here in the chat already. I love it. All right. Well, we're going to choose our other fine human beings here. We got returning from last week when we were doing speed, hailing all the way from the Philippines, Mr. J.M. Cruz of the Stay at Home Podcast. What an appropriate title in this day and age. What's up, dude?
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone, the panel, and also in the chat. JM out here in the Philippines. Well, pretty much excited to break down this movie alongside Nick, Mad, and also the other panelists that will be coming in. And yeah, also pretty envious, guys, going to Vegas. Hope you guys enjoy it there. But do send us some videos and also some pictures as well.
There will be. I'm sure one of us will be like, in like an octagon ring, meeting Dana White or something. Who knows what will happen in Vegas? I can't even. I'm already imagining the impossible. And Matt's just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like what your idea of Vegas is immediately, meeting Dana White in an octagon. There may be some things that happen, less eventful.
Less eventful, like the Army of the Dead.
Oh God! oh!
You should remove yourself. Like,
I'm sorry, man.
Too good.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for having me.
It's all good.
Oh, well, hold on. Last night we were playing that Gartic phone game or whatever. And then
I saw that.
YetiCast was supposed to draw Las Vegas, but instead he gets not even just New York, but the Twin Towers in a plane, New York. Like that is how he depicted Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
and Canadians.
Glorious.
'Cause
Just glorious.
It's funny because it wasn't in Las Vegas,
It wasn't in Vegas.
New
yeah.
York, and
Yeah.
it was a very specific time. Whatever, go on.
Yeah. Ah. All right, we got another guy here. He was going to be also in Vegas. He goes by the Gilk Man, debuting on Toxic Tuesday, Mr. Thomas Gilky.
Thank you so much for having me. Hail to the panel. Hail to Mad Martian or Mad Mardigan. I've heard about you from Culture and Justin Proper. Hail Stay at Home Podcast and hail the host, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. Nick Weiser.
Thank you. Weezer. I like Weezer.
Ew.
It's Wiser, but we're going to go with Weezer for tonight. Tonight we're going with Weezer.
What's this song? So now instead of 32 different beer flavors, it's me 32 different Weezer titles.
Oh, God. All right.
I can't think of a single Weezer song. Would Buddy something? Was there a song called?
Well, there's that song about kicking me, saying, "Oh, come on and kick me." Something about getting on a half pipe or something.
I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody actually listened to them.
We say that, but man, somewhere out there, someone is. It ain't me. It ain't me, but someone is.
Yeah, well, come at me, Weezer fans. Yo, the Weeze heads, the Weezerites.
AFK Bar, yay. Great panel. I'm here to show support for Thomas and to hear y'all's thoughts on this movie. Hi, y'all. Hello, sir. Well, thank you for coming in here. I like Thomas. It's good to have him on here. And, since he's our guest tonight, I'm going to have one of our two guests tonight. I'm going to have him start off with his thoughts on The Rock. So, Thomas Gilkey, why don't you talk to us about your first experiences with this movie? Bueller? No,
Thomas? Are you there, Thomas?
It's okay. JM, why don't you go?
Well, first and foremost, it's actually one of my most viewed movies out here. I've watched this probably more than times that I could count. The main thing I enjoy about this movie, it's really centered upon some sort of biological warfare, and also the action is pretty much just straight up, no bullshit action. And I also notice wherever Sean Connery is, the movie seems to do well.
Mm-hmm.
So the story itself isn't that complicated, but the action makes up for it, and also the comedy also makes up for it.
Oh, nice. And was this something that you're able to catch right away out that way in the Philippines, or is this something you had to go Rebel style and bootleg, or were you a late bloomer to it? What was the life experience for Mr. J.M. Cruz?
I think we watched this via rental on VHS back then.
Was it dubbed?
No, no, it wasn't dubbed. It's in English as well. I think we also don't have any subtitles back then, VHS, as far as I could remember. So yeah, it wasn't dubbed, Mad. Straight up English.
All right, one of these weeks, man, we're gonna watch a movie and it's gonna be dubbed for you.
Gonna be dubbed. Yes. Now we have to. Now we have.
Looks like
to.
there's a Weezerite in the chat.
Weezerite is AFK. No, commenting is dangerous. Is our Weezerite? Okay, Mr.
You're
Gilkey.
in Mad's crosshair right now. Company is dangerous.
Mr. Gilkey, you there? It's like he just vanished off. Okay, well, we got this. So it's okay. I'll talk about my life experiences with The Rock. So I was able to catch it in probably around 99, so like 3 years after it came out. Yeah, around 99. I think I was elementary school, headed into middle, and I remember knowing about 96. I was living in Chicago then. I was like, oh, look at this poster. It's got Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery.
Sir.
Sir.
Sean Connery.
Sean,
yeah, Sir Sean Connery.
Sir Sean Connery.
They don't make it easy on you.
No, they don't make it easy on me, Bob. But
Is that your Connery impression?
no, it's a bad one.
Tell me, Nick Weisher,
Of
how's your bowling arm?
course it is.
My bowling arm is strong. But anyways, yeah, I remember like so at this point I'd seen Face Off, I had known about I was like, wow, this Nicolas Cage guy is out of this world. But yet this character is a little bit more normal than his Con Air or his Face Off characters because he's just this normal. He's a normal FBI guy, so it was just like. Okay, and then also I see Sean Connery. And Sean Connery looked jacked in this movie. Did you ever know?
I noticed that too, dude. Like he is so imposing. Like when he's walking with, like right when they get to the island, and he's walking like with all the rest of the SEAL team. I'm like, oh, or like in prison when they're pulling him out. Like you're like, oh, I didn't know he was like like an imposing. Like ever since since he did that weird movie where he wore a loincloth. I forgot what it was called. Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, I remember because I had already seen a handful of the Bond movies at the time. I was well aware of Thunderball, especially, of course. So I was just like, oh hey, so that's Connery because he looks gigantic. It threw me off guard, and I was just like, what the frick? What's up, JM?
Yeah, but we also should remember that Sean Connery used to be a bodybuilder back then.
Oh,
so
was he? I didn't know that.
He is. He is bodybuilder back then, and maybe the residue of what he is doing before. He still had it until that day. But, yeah.
So
way, I guess want to highlight that you said that Nicolas Cage in Face Off. What was his character's name? Sean Art? No, Sean Archer was John Travolta.
That was John Travolta.
Castor Troy.
Castor Troy. Yeah, Castor Troy.
Who was an international terrorist for hire. And Con Air, he was an Army Ranger that got wrongfully arrested. Those two are more normal than an FBI agent that deals with like chemical weapons.
I see what you're
Castor Troy. No, Castor Troy is the normal one.
Yeah, Castor.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know, man.
This guy seems pretty legit, like pretty normal, like a pretty normal dude.
Well, yeah, he's normal compared to Castor Troy. Yeah, no, you're right. And then of course you had Con Air where he was a Southern guy. Like,
by the way, did you know?
Con Air.
Do yourself the favor. Like,
yeah.
Did you know? Like when he finished filming Con Air, that next day he was on set doing Face Off. In fact, the first scene that they filmed was the end, where they were fighting. Like they took no time to whoa, my character is going to be like this, and they're like, no, we're just going to try to out cuckoo banana each other and see where we go. Like, just greatness,
right? And I had to mention, seeing the movie and being thrown off by how imposing Connery was, it also made me even weirded out because I'm like, hold up, why is this movie called The Rock? Even though I knew it came out 3 years ago, but yeah, I was into WWF at the time, and there was Dwayne Johnson's The Rock, so that was not doing me any favors still, even though I knew the movie came first. But I just remember saying this guy who was basically an escape artist, and that blew my mind, man. And then just seeing this movie everything play out over 2 hours, just the action and the suspense, I was just like, fuck, this is good.
If you Google The Rock looking for this movie, you will not find it. You have to put in The Rock movie
1996.
Or 96. 96. If you put in The Rock movie, you're just going to get a list of the movies that The Rock has been in.
Imagine if the Rock was here, and the tagline would be if you smell what VX gas is cooking or something.
Oh god.
Oh, actually that's better. I was really worried when you started that. Pulled it out.
Thomas, you there?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my friend. Awesome. Glad to have you back. So before I go on to, we got Parrot Head, the Jack of all casuals. It's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. Welcome, all you fine human beings. Thank you for being here. Thomas, we were just talking about, our first initial thoughts of, seeing The Rock.
Yes.
What was your first, experience like seeing this movie? No.
Wait, am I allowed to curse?
You can swear as much as you want.
All right. Okay, cool. I fucking loved it because so I grew up with Sean Connery as my James Bond actor. I wasn't born in 1962 like a lot of the old timers out there.
Mm-hmm.
But my first introduction to Connery was as Bond was You Only Live Twice, and when I saw that Connery was in this film, I appreciated the heck out of it. I thought that Nicolas Cage was sensational, and that's back when Nicolas Cage was good. Same with still debatable, but I haven't seen Nicolas Cage movies since National Treasure.
Wow.
But I like Ed Harris and I like David Morse, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try. I knew who they were, and it was. I'm a big fan of music and movies. I don't care as long as the music in the film is good, then I'm hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And the music by the legendary Hans Zimmer.
Yes, Hans Zimmer. Yes. You right there?
This score was reused in other things, right?
That's pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm pretty sure
so.
this thing's been used in a few movies.
Probably. I mean, Gilkey's got once again, Gilk's right though. The score though, of course, Hans Zimmer never gets old. You got anything else you want to add?
Just the fact that it had, I didn't know what to expect going into it. I don't think any of us knew what to expect going into it, and the fact that it was able to have a tiny bit of mystery, but also some action, or a lot of action, I really enjoyed, and the fact that I at least felt for Sean Connery's character, because he was with the connection that he had with his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I liked that scene. I liked the scene in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I think easily this is one of Michael Bay's best movies.
I'm going to make the argument I'd go top 2 or top 1 in this case. I mean, besides the first Bad Boys, I love the first Bad Boys.
It's a really good one as well.
Yeah.
But I think 13 Hours, though, is probably like the best he's done. As far as like, because so you always have Mike. Actually, by the way, I didn't see a lot of Bayisms in this one as I have in other movies.
Because he upped the ante as time went on. The Bayisms started becoming more apparent as time goes on. It's one of those, like, as time goes on, the cracks start to show. The Bayisms start to show as time went on.
Well, because, like, in this movie, not everything sparked. Like, that's a big thing about him. Like, even in 13 Hours, like, if a bullet hits something, there's going to be sparks, no matter what. Something blows up, there's sparks everywhere. But this is... Also, let me get this out of the way because this is going to be right here. All right, so I think I know why there are so many problems with the continuity in Michael Bay movies. Because I read something interesting, right? Ed Harris said that Michael Bay shoots from like your left, your right, straight ahead, close up, down. Like he loves the camera. Did you know that the average shot length in this was 2.5 seconds?
That sounds about right. That
Just
actually
cut.
sounds about right.
Cut.
So this has to have taken long to film them because of that. Whew.
Well, it's not just that. It's that, you know, between those cuts, like moving the cameras or whatever, like things are going to change. So if you read like the what was wrong in this, like you're going to see a ton of lists. Like, oh, the car was actually on this side. There was 2 here. There was 4 cars here, but then there was 5, and then just on and on and on and on because there's so many cuts that he does, and he never takes any time like with whatever it is that he's shooting. And it was, I think this was made it that much, like I really noticed it in this one.
Yeah, I mean, now I think about, because I did rewatch it again recently. I can definitely see that in my head. It's just, I mean, once again though, like there was less Bazons, but yeah, there was like an ADD festival of changing the shot. It was an ADD fest, but I will say it worked for the movie. I mean, I won't complain too much, but it could definitely be like, whoa. Can you imagine filming this? This had to have been like ridiculous how many times the words cut was uttered. Like, jeez, dude. But dude, I mean, also the casting. We gotta mention the casting. I mean, we mentioned the score, but you had Tony Todd alongside Ed Harris. You also had what's her face? I can't remember who was on Cage's wife.
Don't care. Put her in the fridge. Let's move on. This is a guy thing. Let's go.
It was pretty though. Sean Connery's daughter in this film was,
Oh, I know her too. I forget her name.
I think she's from NCIS or something.
I think she may actually be like movies like on TV, but for sure though, like the best scene in this for me though was when they enter the shower room, which by the way, that is not the layout of the shower room in Alcatraz whatsoever. There's not the whole thing. None of that works. Anyways, but so when they're in there and it's Ed Harris and Michael Biehn going back and forth, and it was so good. Yeah. And
I forgot that Michael Biehn was in the movie. That makes it, I think, even cooler.
Right.
Yeah, he led the Navy SEAL team, which actually had real Navy SEALs on it as well. And he said like he was actually intimidated to try to act as if he was the leader when he has like legit badasses around him that he's trying to tell what to do, which was good. And the advisor on this was a Navy SEAL, but I don't know. I guess I don't know why they let it go, but like Navy SEALs do not call each other by rank or last name. It's always first name.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought it was because they kept calling each other captain. I remember,
or
captain,
like lieutenant, and all this other.
Lieutenant, I saw that, and maybe because my brother's in service, I'm like, I wonder if my brother said that to his guys, like soldier or captain, like.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, if like it's Navy SEAL specifically. When I was in Iraq, we had a team that was working in our AO, and when they would do these OPL pieces, SKTs and shit, they would pull a couple of us offline because we would basically be inside of a Haji house, in a civilian's house, watching Target, right? And they would need help with security because you had the family and everything else going on, and so I got to roll with them. Coolest fucking moment I've ever had. And yeah, they like first thing they did, they asked me what my name was. Like you just don't, nobody calls anybody by rank or by like their last name. That stood out to me a lot. A lot of the military stuff.
I bet. Especially, you probably see it from that point of view because you were in the military. So I get where that's coming from. But we got another guy in here who I'm going to let him do his introduction.
Vigilante Wins here on the first episode of this format of Talks Tuesday. I did a previous one, but since you've been doing the movie thing where you take a classic movie and talk about it, this is the first time I've been on.
Yeah, welcome, sir. I'm glad to have you back. I feel like it's been some time since we've been together. It's kind of like we're like it's friends reunited type of thing. And dude, I must say, like seeing you and Matt on the Culture Crime Fires with Gary, God, was it 10 days ago, something like that? That was
about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks ago. Yeah, whatever it was. Woo. Pretty awesome. Awesome. We've had the show that Culture Crime Fires show, which unfortunately is not going to be tomorrow because of Vegas and Matt needing to work because he's had so much time off for Vegas. But man, it's been kind of a ride. And I haven't done as much with Comics Division because we used to stream all the time, at least on Comics Division.
Yes, we used to. There was a time where I feel like you and I wouldn't even have to worry about trying to find each other. We would just somehow end up on the same stream sometimes a few times within the same day. Yes. I know you had a job change as well.
I did, and so I'm working in the office, which means that the extra hour plus less time, and I need to sleep more, and it's been a mess. But this is a good movie. This is a I overheard you talking about the unrealisticness of the military. There's a lot unrealistic about this movie.
I haven't even started. I haven't even started on the VX gas.
Yeah, he was just getting warmed up.
Brother, man. And I had researched VX gas in like high school.
Yeah,
I don't even remember why. No, man, this is. I mean, listen. After watching Suicide Squad, this movie has as much to do with reality as that one. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's not. And I don't know if that's just the '90s kitsch or the Michael Bayism. Like you see the Transformers Michael Bay in his baby form in this movie.
Yeah, I talked about it as well. Like the average shot in this was 2.5 seconds long. You had so many cuts. Like just a conversation. Like I'm sitting there and like Sean Connery and Nick, they're just talking. And it's like cut. Like, why? Just let them have the conversation. But
especially then, this is on film. Like you have to physically cut this shit. What are you doing?
And so the camera that he used, actually, it was a 35, whatever. Doesn't matter. I can't remember it. But it was the last time he used it. He didn't like it because, as a side note,
I remember when I first saw this movie, I was really confused when Connery was calling Cage's character Goodspeed. I'm like, is he trying to mock the term Godspeed? But that was his actual name, Goodspeed. That was Cage's last name, Goodspeed.
Yeah, he was calling him God. He was first he said Godspell.
Godspell.
Yeah. By the way, this is like a Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson. This is actually Don Simpson's last movie. He died in the making of this one.
Oh, yeah. You had the one guy from Scrubs who was on this. That's what one of the guys from Scrubs.
Oh, Dr. Cox.
Yeah, Dr. Cox.
He's great.
He's on there. Of course, Kyle Reese. You had Tony Todd as well. And I always call him Kyle Reese because sometimes I forget he's Michael Bean, even though that's his name. It's just like once you became Kyle Reese, you're always Kyle Reese type of deal.
I'll be honest. I'm like he barely survived Aliens because for them killing him Alien 3, but I can't think of another movie that he survived. Tombstone, dead. He was amazing in Tombstone. Yeah,
he's a good dyer. He just knows how to die. Pat S here. I'd like to thank you and all in the community that helped 24/7 made 500 subscribers. Yeah, no, hey, he deserved it. I'm at 458 right now, so hopefully I'll be up there with him real soon. What's up, Authenticator? Yeah. Nice to see ya.
Well done. Hey,
Steve Mitchum, what's up? And no, right, Jack of all treasures? It's the Michael Bean curse. It really is. So, VW.
He was so good in Tombstone, though. So good.
Well, Tombstone's. That will probably be a Toxic Tuesday.
It has to be.
It has to. You're right. It does have to be. That's an all-time great. Seriously.
Only thing I'll say about Tombstone, and it's not even directly, like Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday is so good that I felt bad for Dennis Quaid, who had to try to play Doc Holliday in the Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp movie. And you're just like, no, man. Like, oh, he's trying so hard. Like, anyway. But yeah, Val Kilmer was Doc Holliday. It was so good. And I think having what was his name? Was it Ringo?
Oh God, I couldn't tell
Michael
you the name.
Bean's name in I forgot his character's name, but like they worked so well off of each other. It was so good. Such a good movie.
So no. We'll have to do one. We'll do a Toxic Tuesday. But VW, before we carry on more conversation, what were your first experiences with this movie titled The Rock? Was it around the time you discovered The Wrestler, or did you see the movie first?
I saw the movie first. So, like, I grew up, and I couldn't tell you why my parents allowed me to see so many, like, rated R and violent movies, like, as they came out. But I saw this, like...
Parents used to be fucking awesome. That's why. Same thing.
Yeah. It was actually not as it came out on video. So maybe I can't remember the dates. Maybe it was just becoming The Rock around that time. But it was a video. It was the tape where you a VHS tape. So that's when I would have saw this, and I remember just thinking of it as just another one of the great action movies. Another like Nicolas Cage kind of had a run where you had this Con Air Face Off.
Yeah, the trifecta. It was a trifecta for him.
Michael Bay's next movie was Armageddon. Let's not forget.
Yeah. And you know something? This kind of put me in mind of Armageddon because you have these like 90s premises where it's like, okay, no, this wouldn't really be the answer. You wouldn't really send a fucking group of like roughnecks on a fucking meteor. Like that's not the actual answer. But it's the 90s, so you just run with it.
They asked him about this movie, like what's up with the boiler room stuff? Like, why would that still be going if the prison is like, I don't know, but it's fun, right? Like, this is answered. This is Jerry Bruckheimer. All the movies in the 90s that Jerry did are like this. Him and Don Simpson. This is what they did.
Yeah. They did Bad Boys, right?
Yes, Bad Boys. Yeah, we were just saying that was probably besides this and Bad Boys, those are my personal top 2 bays. Like as
13 hours for me,
13 and I'd probably go that, second or third. It would crisscross, but no, dude, like, and then Bay just like he saw what he liked and it became a fetish for him. Because then the Transformers was happening, Bad Boys 2 was happening. Like, it's just like explosions, Transformers,
sparks everywhere.
The ADD of changing the scene, like Michael Bay, like, and then of course, then he kind of did a thing with the Ninja Turtles, which is a thing. Yeah. It was just like it was like a transformation. Like this movie, like showed what he truly great he was at one point in time. Yeah. If you put on the Ninja Turtles or Transformers, you wouldn't think that. You're like, what? I'm not gonna watch some of the text of Michael Bay, but that's really how it was.
I don't think he directed the Ninja Turtles though, right? It definitely was a producer, and you saw
he was the producer.
Was he a producer? Okay, so I stand corrected.
It had the feel of a Michael Bay.
It had the feel.
My thought was technology ruined him. Like when technology got better, he just got worse.
Yeah.
If he would have had to do the practical stuff, you still would have got the cheesiness. But I mean, it just everything fit, and the damn tension. It's something about having really good characters and really good conflicts that just washes away. Like there's a lot of '90s kids. Like watching this back. Yeah, it still holds up, but you do realize, the 90s, or just 90s, 80s, 70s, whatever it is, there's a lot of cheese, there's a lot of implausibility, there's a lot of, things that we would roll our eyes at now. But because of the stakes, and because, I shouldn't say now, we would have rolled our eyes at 6 years ago before everything got wacky. But like, now it's like manna from heaven. But like, because of the stakes, because of the tension, because of the conflict that and the nuance, and fucking Ed Harris is so great.
Love Ed Harris. Him and Michael Biehn in the shower room or whatever. That scene was so good. Mm-hmm. Like the tension between the two. But everything he bases all the reasons why Ed Harris is doing this is bullshit. The Marine Recon, like they are not hired or recruited to do illegal things. No, that's not a thing. Nor has the U.S. government like left soldiers behind and didn't give their their dependents any money since like Vietnam. Like, nope, that's not something we do either. But anyway, I digress. I love this movie.
So good, I know. Well, I want to go to. I love the way we first get to see what Mason's truly capable of when they're on top of the building. He's getting a haircut when the gay guy's giving the haircut.
I like that dude.
And then he ties a string to the guy's arm, and I was like, "Holy crap, this guy's nuts!"
His arm would have not just been his shoulder wouldn't have just been dislocated. It would have ripped off. Like it happened all the time.
Drop dead.
The same thing happened like when people got were hanged. You know what I mean? Like they would get decapitated if they didn't do it. Like there's a way to do these things.
Your body weight pulling down on that one yank. And if you know what? If his arm somehow still stay in the socket, that little piece of string from the fucking bathtub, that's not holding him up, man.
No.
That's not doing it. So you gotta forgive that stuff to watch this movie, and I can get how some people are like, oh my god. But
I think. Well, here's the thing, though. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, yeah, the '90s were wacky. Yes, they
Loved
they
it.
were very exaggerated. That's also what I loved about it because they may have not been realistic. They made up for it in tension and story. I mean, one you had Goodspeed. I had to not say Godspeed. Goodspeed's character. You know, he was with a lady and he had a dog. He has a child on the way. And he told her, like, I'm not gonna be a server, and like he's gotta make sure he survives for her. And Mason's just wanting a good old second chance at life. And of course then we got the whole military aspect involved, and you could feel all the tension on all sides, from Goodspeed's side to his girlfriend's to be wife's side, from Mason's side, and of course like the president's involved. Like, everyone knows about it. It's like a world event happening within a movie.
This president has dealt with more situations like to this level. Like, he also had to deal with a comet, with a meteor heading towards Earth, and he was part of the decision makers to send up oil rigmen. I shit you not, it's the same president.
Is he?
Yeah. This president, boy, he gets
by the
shit
same
done.
guy. That has to be the same universe. There's no way around it.
It is, yeah. And
Fuck me, you thought the Orange Man went through it.
All right,
right?
He didn't have this
Nothing
shit.
can please try dealing with a meteor
all
and
right.
only having Ullman to.
RC from the NYC with $5 says, "Hey, 32 Flavors, your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Carlo was the prom queen." I see what you did.
Fuck me, he was.
Such a great line.
Thank you,
That's a great
RC.
line.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, too good. Once again, we came from an era with tension, with good, likable characters you can be sold on, and you had to worry about going through a whole saga to be invested in them. You got attached to them like that, like a Thanos step away. And it was nice. And me and Matt had said this about Speed. We were able to invest in the people on the bus. And it shows you, once again, just the way they did characters back then. Like, these two movies, we get attached so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel it. What happened?
Well, I mean, because back then you limit the screen time that women have. You get straight to the men, and you get things done.
Dudes get it done.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what? That's not half wrong. Like, what happened is they used to give women their own movies. They had chick flicks. They don't have those anymore because women aren't allowed to be straight.
Separate but equal.
Well, I wouldn't go complete George Wallace. You just, you would have men that flirt. You have some men in the chick flick. You have some women in the manly flick. But it was just like, okay, there's roles set out. And honestly, every character has roles set out. It's not just the women. Like, there's certain guys. There's archetypes, and those archetypes work. And that's really what it is. And Matt is being racist yet again.
Nope.
Well, this time it was sexist. It was sexist.
Yep.
So
there's a difference.
So we got to at least be specific.
Yep. I mean, I can be both easily, but
Clearly.
Go on, VW.
Yeah, but like it was. I think character. They don't care about that. They got two set piece happy, and again, we're talking about Michael Bay, so he's as guilty as anyone with set pieces. And yeah, drop a like. Stop being so damn racist. But no, I think nowadays they're so set piece happy. They don't even think about the characters or the motivations or getting us involved. They just think, oh, we'll just blow stuff up with graphics. And you'll watch. I don't know. I don't think I just think they're they're not capable of being able to get across why we should care about these people and in a reasonable amount of time. You know what I mean? Because like last week with Speed, even with the Suicide Squad, which I know it's been getting hate or whatever, but I fucking enjoyed the shit out of it.
Same.
At the end, there was one point that I'll talk about some other time, but that really bothered me. But I'm on board for all of them, even the women. I'm like, okay, rat person, I dig it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
they made me care more about a giant CGI shark in that movie than anything Marvel has put out since Infinity War. You know what I mean? Like,
Agreed.
this like that, and this is that was easily the best DC movie. But I just don't think that
as well.
the writers that they're hiring now, or even the directors, like they just don't know how to get you invested without having 2.5 hours and forcing it upon you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and with 2.5 hours to capitalize off of Matt's point, I feel like if it's truly that good, you'll think about when do I want to watch that next. And I truly felt that way when I watched The Suicide Squad. I felt that way when I watched a movie like Speed, a movie like Con Air, a movie like The Rock. And with The Rock, with 2 hours and 15 minutes, you don't care. It doesn't feel like an obligation. You just want to get to it and watch it again.
Yep.
You don't care about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I agree 100%. The Suicide Squad, 30 minutes in, I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to watch this again.
Right?
Like, it just had me, man. Like, but
Suicide Squad was good.
Mm-hmm.
by the way,
You know what I
Sir
love?
Sean Connery. Oh no, go ahead. You haven't talked at all. All I've done is talk. Go ahead.
So what I love well, that's true, but that's okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure you talk a lot on Justin Proper stream.
Well, that's why people come to watch it.
Cultures. But
It's mine.
no, they come to watch it for Justin Proper.
Who?
But one of the things I loved about The Rock was that it didn't feel like I was wasting my time with it at all. It went by so quickly, and for me, I saw the Suicide Squad, and one of my biggest issues with it was the length of time that it was. And with The Rock, it just felt like it had things that would intrigue almost anyone. It had a hot actress, Nicolas Cage's daughter. No, Sean Connery's daughter. Shit. It had a leading man who. It had 2 leading men, Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. With Sean Connery being having more wisdom than Nicolas Cage did at that time, and you had a director who I saw Bad Boys. I did not see Speed. I think that's what you guys were talking about.
Well, he didn't direct it though.
In this movie, okay. Well, in this movie, I felt like Michael Bay knew what he was doing compared to the Michael Bay that we get now, that we got with the Transformers, the first 3. He knew what he was doing. You had some pretty enticing sets, like some pretty enticing action scenes, like the scene when near the end of the film, and Nicolas Cage makes that comment about Rocket Man. Being like, you're the Rocket. Have you ever heard of Rocket Man? Well, you're the Rocket Man. And then him quoting, saying, "I'll take pleasure in gutting you, boy." I just laughed my ass off at that. And then you had some of the most gripping music. You had that scene in the I think it was the bathroom or the showers, or maybe the
shower, yeah.
Where you saw all the showers, where you saw all those men dying, which it gripped me because some of them you actually they built up and you cared for them.
Yes. Good one. No, good point.
It took them minutes to do it.
Yeah. I think B-Dub was right about the CGI thing with Michael Bay. I think that really has amplified the Bayisms for sure. And Sir Sean Connery actually told Michael Bay, "Hey, slow down, and you're going a little too far in the morning." And Michael Bay listened, and he slowed the fuck down because the dude
did he really?
Oh, he's just like his movie. He's like, dun dun dun. By the way, Sir Sean Connery made them build him like a cabin on Alcatraz, so he wouldn't have to take the ferry back to the mainland like all the other, all the other like lower people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure.
They actually premiered the movie at the prison in Alcatraz. They actually when they did the premiere, I'm like, that's pretty awesome. I love that. and once again, this is another sign of a good movie because back then a lot of all the Blu-rays and like early Blu-rays and a lot of the DVDs they had special features you wanted to watch, and that's because I watched those special features. I got to learn about them premiering the movie at the Alcatraz. I'm like, dude,
in the yard, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's cool.
Remember director commentary? Like, my favorite was Deep. My favorite was Deep Blue Sea. If you haven't seen it, it's about to get ruined.
I still haven't seen it, but go ahead, tell me.
So Samuel L. Jackson's on the commentary, right? As soon as his character dies, he gets up and leaves. He's like, "I'm out." Like this is
awesome.
That's my favorite.
Oh, now I feel just because that scene, the fact that the shark just conveniently knew where he was.
It's so good.
Best movie
that
death
shark
ever.
is so racist.
Oh, here we go with this again.
There was so many white people, but he went straight for the black guy. Go on.
Of course. Well, I mean, he is a shark, and so he's not like he can just get on ground and start looking for white people to kill. He was like the closest guy to the water.
He knew what he was doing.
I think. I mean, it's not like he didn't kill white people too. I think he was an equal opportunity murderous shark.
It was only to get to the black guy.
All right.
I think, did the shark vote for Trump? Why are you putting?
I'm just saying
on him?
It's the system. I mean, maybe the shark itself isn't racism, but
listen here, Lefty.
The system of shark culture.
I'm just taking. I think the shark just was just out for itself.
It's not a normal shark.
Jackson.
This is a super smart shark. You don't think a super smart shark like this could tell the difference between white and black? Yes, it could, and it chose.
All right.
I mean, it kills enough white people. But, okay. RC
it turned on an oven. It can figure out who's the black guy.
Sharks are racist now. You're the reason they're going to get rid of shark attacks. Did you hear that? Shark attacks.
Well, the sharks were just doing peaceful protests against them.
But yeah, they don't call them shark attacks now. I forgot what they call like shark encounters.
Yeah, I heard. I'm still calling them shark attacks. Screw that. But all right, RC's got some.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, it's a real thing. It's because of leftist logic, like the shit you're spewing, and that's how we got here.
I wasn't being serious. That is insane. It's shark attack.
Well, they're doing that too with a certain minor group too. Like they're trying to water down terms. I'm not going to get into it, but
which group?
I'll mention the private chat. But Islington girl, not gonna lie, is addicted to LOTR special features, right? Deep Blue Sea is hilarious. And RC here. This is what I saw in 90. I remember this is what I saw, the Criterion collection. I think a few years after 99, one of my friends had it. I think we were in middle school. I was like, whoa, look at all these cool features. We ended up watching like all of them. And we liked all of them. Like it was killer. Man. I love those things where like all the sets, the box sets look nice. So like I remember Terminator 2 like had a steel box set, and then of course you had like the full screen or widescreen thing. I don't think The Rock had that format just yet. I think it was just a regular traditional full screen release when it came out on DVD.
Do you think we don't get the features anymore because of the digital like download and
I think so.
And renting?
Yeah,
possible. I thought about that, and I'm like, that seems to be a possible reason to why that's happened.
Because I remember like when that first started, like on Vudu, right? Is that right?
Yeah, Vudu.
Yeah. Like you could, it would have special features attached to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like now, though, like I don't ever see anything about like, bonus features include, the making of. But like I don't ever see that anymore.
Yeah, well, it's because you're right. I mean, nowadays, like you're lucky if you could barely get like a single feature out of it. Like you'll see maybe like one quick like 10-minute quick rushed making of it. It's almost like, hey, we gotta give incentive to wanting the feature. I will say Target does a cool thing where they do like these photo books. Target does a photo book thing. I do like that. And I know Best Buy does a steel book, which, speaking of steel books, the Islington Girl, do they still make the steel book ones? Yes, that is a Best Buy exclusive. And Ogre Squasher 101. Hey, Ogre Squasher.
My channel's benefactor. Hey, cool to see you here.
I feel like I've seen you in other chessboard. Nice to meet you, Ogre Squasher. Hello, Noble Iro. Yes, Best Buy.
Noble Iro.
Yes.
Oh man, that is not how I would have pronounced that before I heard you.
Orgy Squasher.
No, I was just like Ogre Squasher.
Oh,
Like
I
so many different ways, but none of them were correct.
What's up, theme park? I thought you were gonna say orgy squasher, which that would be pretty brutal.
Well, he's rich enough to pull it off.
That sounds like a special position. You know what I mean? Like you have pitcher and you have catcher, and then you have squasher.
Orgy squasher.
Yeah.
Sounds like something from a death metal song. I can hear it now.
I cannot. I went a whole different way with it than metal.
All right. Well, back to The Rock. So, this came out in the summer of '97. I think this is the same summer as Batman and Robin.
96.
Oh, sorry, 96.
My favorite Batman movie.
Your favorite Batman movie. So 96. I think you had Eraser. Eraser came out that year. Eraser was 96. Yeah, Eraser was 96. You had the Disney Hercules 96. So I remember 96. God, I'm trying to think. I think I was going to the it was somewhere
Twister
in
was
Berlin.
96 also.
Well, which one?
Twister and Daylight.
Yeah, Twister, great one.
Yeah.
That's the director of
Independence
Speed did that one. Mars Attacks.
Space Jam, yeah.
Oh, dude, Sleepers with Kevin Bacon and Brad Pitt. The Ghost in the Darkness, dude. The Ghost in the Darkness only has a 49% rating. That is ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice has a 31%, and that is criminal.
Really, I'm surprised it's not higher.
Right?
But does that include what's the people score? I can get critics.
I don't know.
Yes, the
Twister's
Flying
96.
Cow. The Flying Cow. Never forget. R.I.P. to the Flying Cow and Twister. That's all that needs to be said there. The Flying Cow.
The Rival. Oh my gosh.
Cable Guy came out, so now
Cable Guy. Because Liar Liar was 97. Liar Liar was 97, and Cable Guy was 96. I remember I was like one of those few kids on my blog. Everyone thought the Cable Guy is totally strange. I loved it. I'm like, this is amazing.
Because Jim Carrey wasn't The Mask. That's what everybody had a problem with. He wasn't Fire Marshal Bill because that was a Matthew Broderick film. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
it had like a dark kind of tone to it.
It did.
I liked it. Oh, 96 had some good movies. Black Sheep.
Hell yeah, dude.
I love
Broken Arrow.
Black Sheep,
and Happy Gilmore. Holy smokes!
Happy Gilmore was 96,
and that was all
95 or 4.
Well, it was February. In February 96, which is usually the dead month. We got fucking Black Sheep, Broken Arrow, and Happy Gilmore. That's insane.
I can see why 2 of those were in February. Because I tried to rewatch Broken Arrow because I believe that's a John Woo movie, and I love me some doves. Love me some doves, but that did not hold up. No, it did not. But
that's sad to see.
Guys, The Phantom came out in 96. Are you kidding me?
I remember The Phantom.
Billy Zane.
RC,
Billy Zane.
Independence Day. I remember that 4th of July weekend. See, this is what I mean. I was seeing movies at the theater on a daily, not just because it was cheaper, but because my dad, he was a big movie buff goer. He just wanted to see everything. He just, I had to see this. I had to see this. I had to see this.
My parents were divorced, so every Saturday, like when I'm with my dad, we were at the movies. Judge Dredd, Tombstone, you know what I mean?
Kazam came out in 96.
How about Ransom and Phenomenon?
Ransom.
Wasn't Jingle All the Way? Jingle All the Way is 96 as well.
Is it?
I think that was 95. Yeah. Oh, it was 96. Okay. Man.
Beavis and Butthead Do America. Biodome.
Oh, man.
Space Jam is 96.
I saw Space Jam when they came on theaters. I remember seeing that opening weekend. I lived by a local mall, and I remember all the kids. Once again, it was perfect peak because you had Michael Jordan with the 72-10 Bulls playing the Seattle Supersonics in the NBA Finals. I lived about 15 minutes from the United Center where the Bulls played. So you can imagine what it was like living in that neighborhood. Like it was Bulls country over there. Like everyone, you couldn't go any block without hearing about Michael Jordan or the Bulls because of how nearly invincible they were. And God, yeah, Space Jam was the biggest deal. Like all the kids wanted to see that. I was just like, "What? You're not seeing Space Jam tonight? You're not going down the street to go see that? What is wrong with you?"
Scream also came out in 96.
Yeah, all
and-
glints are right here.
The
Yeah.
first Mission Impossible also.
Oh,
1996.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Not to leave the
96.
ladies out. You got the English Patient in 1996.
Yes.
So there you go.
You
There's
did.
your one.
The women, shout out for the women,
Well, there's a few
and of
women
course
in
the great
Scream.
Dunstan checks in.
Yeah, Dunstan checks in. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
the music for
somebody-
that. Yeah. I remember that.
What
Oh,
a great
man.
year. Can you
Great year of
can you
movies.
remember the last year where we've had multiple like amazing movies like that just go beyond the time that they're released? Think about these movies, how like they are still watched and enjoyed even
Yes.
now, almost 20,
Yes.
almost
Honestly,
30 years later.
The last year will probably be 08. And I know that's late, but you have Dark Knight, Iron Man, and Tropic Thunder off rip in 08.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think there's more. I think there's a bunch of others. I almost want to say Step Brothers is around there too. So you have like late 2000s. It was the last one where
Ooh, Mamma
you
Mia,
got some of those.
2008.
2008 has
Like that.
Cloverfield, Wanted.
Oh, I remember Cloverfield.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Wanted Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Step Brothers,
That probably, oh, it
Step
was,
Brothers
that,
is
it
08.
was 08.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Pineapple
I think that's-
Express,
Oh,
Gran Torino.
yeah.
man,
And The Wrestler.
yeah.
yeah. Appaloosa,
That's
which is
good.
a great Western, was in
Yeah.
2008 as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's probably the last year we
Oh.
got that I can remember. Wall-E came out that year. Yeah,
Yeah, I loved
Uh,
Wall-E. I loved Wall-E.
Definitely-
That hit the feels.
Definitely maybe for the ladies. In Australia for the ladies.
Twilight also.
Australia.
oh, the Twilight. Oh,
Oh, God.
gotta give it credit for what it is.
Well, it was like 06, 07, and 08. Was it like a trifecta, like 3 straight years, or was it like every 2 years? Because they came
Hate
out
that
pretty
movie.
close within each other. I never saw them. I'm just
I've
aware.
seen all of them. Yeah. Little pissed at the ending of Twilight. Like they teased us. Like it was a
The
badass
ending
action.
sucks.
Yeah, action scene is like it's just a dream. Like not a dream. What was it? It was like it's just fortune telling. So don't do this or heads. Go on.
Ashley Green's head.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all good. But okay, so as we were talking about the year 96. So this is a summer blockbuster. And once again, it doesn't open up to the hugest numbers, but you look at the box office legs, and that's where it counts because you got the word of mouth, and you see the numbers. It's just steady. So 25 goes to 18, 14, 10, 6, 4, 2. Like it had. Even at some points, it gained back some a little bit. It cashed on Labor Day weekend as well. So
God, movies should stay in theater so much longer.
yeah,
Yeah,
look at that. All the way through Thanksgiving weekend, right
Even
here.
with so many other great movies, it still was in theater that long.
Yeah,
Does that make you know what I mean?
yeah, with
like,
the competition. Yeah,
Yeah. Like
That's
the
insane.
speed last week when we were talking about it, the drop from weekend to weekend was some absurd like 10% drop.
Yes. Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
They would
Yeah.
kill for that now. Even
my-
like when the movies were hitting, like just a few years ago when they were cashing $1 billion checks every week, they still had massive drop offs.
Right? They're
Yes.
like,
Oh,
oh,
yes.
man, we're doing so great. We only dropped 80% from week 1
Yeah.
to week 2.
And they would be
Ugh.
happy with that. But
as
yeah.
much as I despise
Titanic
this
was
movie,
96.
Steve Mitchum is factually correct on this one. I mean, Titanic did have very small dropouts. I think it actually increased the second weekend because I remember when
Did
it
it?
came up, it started off at like 20 or 30 something
Oh.
million, and then it went up its second weekend, I think.
I remember seeing it in theater and I saw those boobs. I can see how it increased.
I remember.
And then the dude hit the propeller on the way down. Like that alone is going to
Oh,
get
I
people to
remember
go
that.
see it.
I only liked the last few minutes of the movie where the ship actually sank. Other than that, the movie was just like it was just useless.
You
the
missed
movie.
nothing. You missed nothing.
I know. I
The
missed
ship
nothing.
was actually pretty solid. Like you said, that propeller, I remember that fucking propeller.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Right here, yeah. Islington goes right. Titanic, yeah. It was showing for like half a year, like
Man,
maybe longer, maybe longer.
The sound of him hitting it, you could almost feel it. It was almost a visceral feeling.
give
Like
the
it's like,
Foley guy a raise.
oh, so good.
It was just like, it was just felt
Oh, it's
so
so good.
sickening and
Yeah.
real.
We were just about getting at the dial up. No, the dial-up sounds of
I
AOL.
like the dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. By the way, real quick,
But-
before I forget, this movie, The Rock, because that's what we're here to talk about, is
Yes.
actually, it feels like it's paced as if it's a 90-minute movie. And I think that's a big difference. Like with
Yes,
Speed
it
as
is.
well. I think both of those, the pacing of it has like that, we got to get this shit done. You know what?
Mhm.
Like a 90-minute movie. Now they will pace a 2-hour movie as if it's 5 hours.
Yes, they do. Oh, and it show TV shows too. A
Yeah.
lot of TV shows do that too. And no, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that with The Rock because like it feels like every moment in the movie is necessary. Every single moment. Like even if there's a moment where they got captured and got right back out, like and of course, you know, when the president's trying to make the tough decision or the missile that's being launched that was done on purpose, like or when Ed Harris and his crew were fighting within each other when they're feuding near the end of the movie and they're turning on each other. Like every moment was vital to the movie.
Yeah. It like the damn, I forgot what I was gonna say, but this by the way, you do not, and no one tells anyone to do this since the 60s. You do not stab yourself in the heart with anthropy. Like in the beginning, when his suit is melting and he's worried about it, they're like, you gotta stab your heart in the cell. He's like, look at the size of this needle. By the way, if he stabs himself in the heart, he's gonna put a hole in his suit, which negates the whole reason why he was supposed to be taking the entropy in the first place.
Oh yeah, that intense scene
here?
at the beginning when they're in the lab experiment. Yeah. Yes.
Also, it does not stop your skin from melting. By the way, like it does, you know, because this is both a nerve agent and blistering agent. Once you can't have the same thing in one thing, but they're like, oh, you got to take it. So that doesn't stop skin from melting. That's not what that does.
Movie logic says it does,
and it will kill you if you take it. Logic.
See,
it's not preemptive.
I think movie logic was trying to be less logical. I mean, they're like, okay, we'll at least make sure that the characters are likable and the action is ridiculously over the top, but we'll be less logical. You know, if that is the trade off I got today, I'll take it.
Yes,
I'll take less being smart over bombastic and good characters. I will take it. And I feel like once again, I mean, I'm bringing it back. I know it's subject brought earlier. But it does kind of harken back to the Suicide Squad. It was bombastic. It was shamelessly over the top. And the characters were likable. And yeah, a lot of it is ridiculous. Like all these things are things that are never just a bunch of Joe Schmoes fighting a world extinction creature. Yeah, and that's what I love with this. You have a Joe Schmo guy trying to go toe-to-toe with a bunch of military guys with an escape artist on his side who he's kind of flimsy.
He's not just an escape artist. I feel like you're kind of like he was an SAS
he's James
agent.
Bond.
Like he's James Bond. Like he's not. They made sure the because there is that theory that he's actually a James Bond. That was
the James Bond. I
wouldn't work.
Learned about that.
Yeah, it wouldn't work because it was like 1973, and then the age thing, all that doesn't really work.
It doesn't
like pan out on it.
But in my head canon, he's basically James Bond.
Right. So I guess an escape artist does not. No, I brought that up last time as well.
Yep.
I have no problem sitting here and be like like Limitless. I love that movie. We use more than 10% of our fucking brains. Just for the record, we use all of it. There's different sections that do different things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mythbusters busted that a while ago.
Easily, but I still love the movie. I can both be critical and love a movie. It's not one or the other. Like I love Lil Man. It's not a good movie, but I fucking love it. I crack up every time I watch Lil Man. It was just more often than what I'd like to admit.
I've not seen The Little Man. Was it?
Lil Man. You're saying it wrong.
Lil Man. Okay.
Lil Man.
Lil Man. Okay.
That's with the Wayans brothers, right?
Hell yeah, it is.
Oh man, the Wayans brothers. Those guys, good. Man. Whew. I remember when they were like a hot topic. No, I was just like, oh, hey, the brothers got a new movie. I'm like, oh crap, we gotta go see it.
Interview with the Vampire was great too.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it was left and right. It was kind of like a hold my beer of movie. It's like, hey, no, I'm gonna do the better movie. Yeah. No, I'm gonna do the better movie.
Like we have lost that. Like, I mean, would you go back to the 2008? Even 2008 was kind of iffy on like, you know what I mean? Like the level of hits that were there. Like in those movies being like, man, the good days.
I'm a bit surprised you guys haven't talked about one actor in this movie
Which
just
one?
having a
No, tip in.
supporting role, which is Tony Todd, Candyman.
Oh, yeah, Tony Todd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
was
working
good.
out along Ed Harris. He's
Mhm.
great. He's some of that deep voice comes across in certain scenes. But yeah, go on, JM. We haven't heard you
Yeah,
say much.
yeah. I think for me, sorry to cut you guys on that.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the main thing that stuck to me in this movie is how it just goes into it. Even in the first few minutes, they establish what the problem is when Ed Harris went to that grave, and we immediately knew that this would be some sort of a coup, or at least a
Mm-hmm.
military problem.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike other movies right now that just dilly-dallying on what the plot is, this movie just goes straight into it,
Yep.
and you
Yes.
immediately understand what the stakes are.
Mm-hmm.
Also, incredibly good and really funny dialogues, especially the aircon one when Nick Cage and Sean Connery they were trying to extract the VX virus, and Nick Cage was asking Sean if he could do something about the dead guy. You know, what am I going to do about it? Kill him again. And the way
But-
how he explained the virus to Sean was, yeah, it may sound a bit bullshit for us right now, but it was really fascinating back then, especially when we didn't know what VX was.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, well, I mean, it's been around since 1973. People had ideas. By the way, rockets, those weren't rockets, those were missiles. Like rockets are just dumb things that shoot and then just like they land where they land. When you start putting guiding chips on it, which I don't know why you would put it on the VX gas and not the missile itself. Whatever, doesn't matter. But it's a missile now, and every time they called it a rocket, I'm like, oh god.
And also, one really funny thing about this is when Nick Cage punched that guy where he placed one of the VX vials inside his
In
mouth.
his mouth, yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget, a teaspoon of that stuff will kill
Dead.
any living organism within 100 yards.
Yeah.
Except if they swallow it, then you're
Except-
okay.
Yeah, right.
Man.
And then you're okay. Nicolas Cage is perfect. Once again, that the plot armor was working in his face.
Well, so not only the power armor. Okay, if VX gas is as dangerous as they purport, wouldn't one missile wipe out all of San Francisco? Like that city's compact. It's not like a city
What?
where everything's spread out. It's only like it's a small city that's compacted on top of itself. And
Mhm.
Snake Eyes made more than G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. I can believe that.
Yeah, I love the
What?
dude that was in the trolley driver.
Yeah.
He was so great in this movie. Like he was only on, he had one scene, but he goes, I'm gonna go lay that motherfucker down. He ain't safe nowhere. Like I'm like, that is such a real line. None of these white guys wrote that shit. That is him.
That's
Oh,
an
yeah.
ad-lib. Yeah, we
it
said he ain't safe nowhere. I'm like, that's an ad lib. There's no Caucasian person put that on paper. No way.
No.
There were so many writers on this. Yeah, like Aaron Sorkin was brought in at one
I
point.
think
Two guys
Tarantino had it.
Yes.
I think he had a part in
Yeah.
that, but it was like uncredited or some
Yeah.
madness. I'm like,
It-
what Tarantino do?
so many people, and Sir Sean Connery himself brought in two writers to help with his line specifically.
Oh man, but they did their fucking thing because Sean Connery was charismatic than a motherfucker.
Fuck yeah,
Holy
he was.
shit!
Oh, he
I
was so
see.
enticing to watching this.
Mm-hmm.
It actually made me want to watch Entrapment, which is another like old Sean Connery
Mhm.
classic. Like when he was in his older years, was still
These
able
two
to.
movies were his favorite from the 90s that he did.
I
They were
believe
really
it.
Fucking good, man.
Did,
They were
did
really
Sean
good.
Connery have any horror movies before you remember of? No.
The Avengers. That was
The British
horrific.
Avengers.
That was horrific.
Horrific.
Horrific. Because in this movie, he could actually become at least what do you call this? An antagonist.
Mhm.
You look at it in a horror movie, especially with his voice. Remember when he threw the knife towards the guy and it hit the throat?
Oh
Much not
yeah, he's
hesitate.
like, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Do not hesitate.
Very menacing.
Go for it. Just go for it.
Oh, before I forget, speaking of what's his name? Todd, the Candyman. Did you
Tony
know
Todd.
he got he made a deal. Yeah, he did a deal in his contract to where like he gets, I forgot how much money. It was like maybe 1,000, maybe more.
Yeah.
But for every sting from the bee, because those are all real bees, he got stung so many times. Holy fuck, he made out like a bandit with how much money he made just from the bee stings alone.
Oh shit! Well, good for him.
He got paid per sting. That's the only way he would do the movie.
That's a smart deal because I mean, you don't want who the fuck wants to get stung at all.
It's ridiculous. Like when you say that, you're like, oh, a white guy did that. Like that's such a white guy thing to do. To be like, yeah, I'll be covered in bees. Like,
Come on, man.
Well, at least you're an equal opportunity racist.
Right.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm black adjacent, as you know. My stepdad.
So we got quarter black hair, and we got Mad Mardigan. It's all making sense now.
My first cassette was Digital Underground. I know these things.
That's a good one to have.
Yeah.
So
numero uno.
Oh, I had Doggy Style too.
Did you know Michael Bay had a pitch for a sequel? Obviously, that never was. With Goodspeed like being married, like, and all of a sudden, like he had possession of that whole like microfilm. Yeah. And I was just like, I kind of am curious, like, you know, if it was Michael Bay in like 2001 or 2, maybe it could have worked. Because by the time he got to Transformers, it wasn't the Bay that made. Yeah, it was too little too late.
I agree. But it sounds great.
It did. It actually sounded good. I was like, what? I want to know where in the timeline was this an idea? Because if it was like immediately after this came out, I'm like, bro, what were you doing, man?
It's more logical than what we got here. Which again, this movie's great. But that actually is
it is definitely far more logical, at least what the pitch of it sounded like.
Well, we didn't get sequels like that. You got to remember, Hollywood had the opposite view on sequels. I mean, it was transitioning during that period where you started to get more sequels. But they used to think the opposite. They said, "Oh, you don't want to do a sequel because, oh man, is that me?"
No, that's Thomas. That's Gilkman.
Hey, Gilkman. But all right, sorry, I did not feel all guilty. Sorry, Gilkman, you did good. But no, like they didn't do sequels like that. They didn't think to do sequels. Even if you had a pitch, they would move to the next one. And I mean, maybe that was too far extreme, but now everything's a fucking sequel.
Yeah, everything is a sequel. Everything is a reboot. A reboot.
Wait, what is this? What? First of all, I love George Clooney as Bruce Wayne. Not a very strong Batman.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. It sounds so unintimidating. I do love his puns. Arnold Schwarzenegger's puns. Stay cool.
Yeah, what killed the dinosaurs? Yeah, it's so good.
The Ice Age.
Yeah, but that soundtrack is awesome. By the way, the soundtrack to the movie. Amazing. Gotham City by R. Kelly. Oh wow.
Yes, is that the one with Kiss My Rose? Was that
was Forever?
That was Forever. That was Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a Batman Joel Schumacher era Toxic Tuesday. Oh my god!
The 90s used to have dope soundtrack. Even Wild Wild West had a great soundtrack, even though the movie sucked.
Yeah,
no, he did.
Fucking Enrique Iglesias, Will Smith, all these.
Dude,
it had End of the Road on Boomerang.
Remember Wild Wild West? But the song was memorable, but the movie sucked so bad. But
that soundtrack has some bangers on there.
Yeah,
like multiple genres of bangers. Like I said, it was one of the first Enrique Iglesias songs I had.
Yeah,
I heard.
I think like before Guardians of the Galaxy, like there weren't soundtracks that you were even interested in checking out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a massive gap, like 20-year gap where you used to get good soundtracks.
But now they do it wrong. Like Corella, I didn't watch this shit. I watched EFAB watch it. But but with Corella, like there were so many song changes, and it would be used for scenes that made no sense. It didn't mean anything to the scene. They just did it because Guardians of the Galaxy did it, and it was cool. That's how it's being used now, rather than it being something to complement the movie. Rather than compliment, it's just used to like, look how cool we are. It's all 60s vibe here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back in the day, a soundtrack was like a extension of the movie. It was almost like a concept album based around the movie. I could think of, you mentioned Space Jam had a great soundtrack. I remember, like I said, Wild Wild West. You brought up Boomerang, which is there's like all these movies, even movies that you don't even think of. having
The
The
Fan.
Thing
metal
has a
sound.
great soundtrack.
Yeah.
The Fan with Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro. I've been meaning to rewatch this movie actually, but it has an amazing soundtrack. Had some Nine Inch Nails on there. Like,
Yeah.
it was a good
shit.
fucking soundtrack.
Yeah,
So, Seven as well, by the way.
this
used.
comment right here,
Seven, yeah.
the Islington girl said it best. Movie soundtracks didn't used to
Absolutely.
be a much. Yes, it was. They used to always have like
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the artist that chose to write a song or if there's a songwriter that said, "Hey, we're gonna have you record," but these aren't the lyrics. But either way, you get the idea. Is we gotta have a song revolve around the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we had with the Men in
Armageddon
Black,
had-
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that was a big
This
deal.
might-
And well,
yeah,
go
this
ahead,
might
Jim.
be- Yeah, this might be a what do you call this? An unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed Serendipity's soundtrack. All
Wait,
of
I'm
them.
Serendipity
I
soundtrack.
never
Yeah.
watched that movie.
Never
I
seen
Okay.
it.
guys
What
should.
is-
It's a chick flick, but
Oh, well then-
it's a chick flick starred I think Kate Beckinsale, and forgot the guy, but the soundtrack was
Not
really
winning
good.
me over.
It's really mad.
Chick flicks. Come on.
It's a not so metal movie.
No,
This is Toxic Tuesday.
we're here
right?
talked about toxicity.
Yeah.
And here you bring up
I
the
just
Serendipity.
revoked my card here.
Well, it was great having you on this show. Sorry you can't ever be on it again. That's really upsetting.
Sorry.
No. How about we talk about fried green tomatoes next? Bridges of Madison County, anyone?
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of fried green tomato, it was just funny seeing a bunch of Nicolas Cage carrying a bunch of green balls around as he's running around near the house. You know, in that giant thing with all the green balls, he puts
Yeah.
one of the guys.
But
So ridiculous.
he was
I
worried
call them
that
the green balls.
he was worried in this movie in The Rock that he looked like his words, like a little Japanese schoolboy. And then Michael Bay was like, "Oh yeah, no, we dressed him like that on purpose, so he would look ridiculous, like we did that." Because he's like, no, compared to everyone else in the scene, and like, because Sean Connery is just a badass. They're like, "Yeah, we did that on purpose."
It shows
Mhm.
because Cage is like he doesn't know how to use a gun. He's trying to act like he knows what he's doing, like kind of like when they're in the prison when he's
in
like
the interrogation scene.
yeah, the
also.
interrogation room. He's like, you don't know what you're doing. He's like, well, I'll go in there. I'll figure it out. Like, I'll work something out. And surely enough, he got the map.
of coffees in here. Thank you.
Can we uncuff him too? Uncuff him too? Like, I was just like, oh no, this is gonna be bad in every way. And it made for
man.
better entertainment for us.
A quarter's metal is not strong enough to score the glass like that for the record.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I didn't think. First off, the U.S. government. I know they're incompetent, but holy shit, are they incompetent in this movie?
Right?
Conspiracy theories that said, the government has been involved with films trying to engender military support. I'm like, this did not do it, Chief, because I would think the entire government system looks like a bunch of clowns.
Oh, I remember the First Wives Club. By the way, remember last week when we talked about how Keanu Reeves did like 90% of his stunts and what a difference it makes when you're doing action shots, right?
Mhm.
And I brought up Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage when the boat wrecks, and it's like two different guys.
Yes.
In this movie, when the trolley starts coming towards the Ferrari, right, and he like gets out real quick, and he's running, the guy had to keep trying to turn around because one, he had a full head of hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the yellow Ferrari that got wrecked. The shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not Nicolas Cage at all.
No.
And
No, it was not.
no one gave a shit. They're like, yeah, people will get it. They get it. They know who it's supposed to be.
The
It's like when the
90s.
stuff blows up in the when they're in multiple times when stuff blows up when they're actually in Alcatraz, you could tell it's like, okay, Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery go away. There's two other humans to be you.
They
Those
did make them
napalm
do the
scenes.
water thing though, with
Those
underwater
napalm
with the
scenes.
underwater with the fire above. Like that was
Yeah.
really them, and
Oh,
it took a
shit.
I
while
figured
to
that
convince
looked
them
real.
to do it. Yeah, it
That
took them a
looked
while.
real. That I remember seeing that. I'm like, wow, that actually looks like they did that. And okay, now you're confirming that's what it was. Shit,
Yeah, they had to be
son.
convinced to do it because, like I just said about the dude that got hit by the trolley, like that was not him. So obviously, it's not like they were expecting Nicolas Cage to do anything. But yeah, Sean Connery also, I think it was in one of the James Bond's movie with the shark. They told him like, no, there'll be a glass separating the two of you, and he's like, oh, okay, no problem. There wasn't. And so when he gets out, like out of the pool and shit, freaking out, that's because he's freaking the fuck out because there's a goddamn shark in there with him.
Jesus. Almost killed Shark Connery.
Right?
What the fuck is wrong with people, man?
That would be Thunderball, the shark scene that you're talking about.
Thunderball.
Yeah, Thunderball.
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea, when all that water dumps and they all run for their lives, they were running for their fucking lives because that really happened.
I did not know that. That makes it even better.
Could you imagine having to tell the family of one of those actors they died for that fucking movie for Deep Blue Sea? And they died filming that shit. A movie about like smart sharks cost you your father or your brother.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea.
Oh no, what was he making? Oh, Deep Blue Sea. Oh, that sounds interesting. It was about giant, super smart sharks that can turn on ovens. Oh,
Jesus. Well, I mean, hey, you want toxic masculinity. There's like, a lack of interest in living. So you're just like, I'll just do it. Just man up. Don't be a pussy.
that's right. Man up. Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah.
Glintzer here. Man, Glintzer's been killing it in the comments here.
Oh,
Probably the ultimate strong woman movie of the 90s was Silence of the Lambs. In my opinion, Thelma and Louise, second place.
I mean, I don't know. Off the top of my head, Terminator 2.
Aliens.
Wait, was it in the 90s?
I think it's
Aliens
80s.
is 80s.
Okay.
Aliens 80s.
But Terminator 2 was
Terminator 2 is 92.
91. 91.
91? He's 91?
Yes.
You might be right, yeah. Early 90s. I know that much.
So there,
Hello,
you got one for each decade. One from the 80s with aliens and one from the 90s. Done.
Lady Black Guy death. Deep Blue Sea death. That's one of the best deaths in the movie ever to me.
Oh, it's so, and it comes out of nowhere.
Oh, Cool J died filming.
Oh, my head is like a shark fin. Again, the soundtrack to that movie was amazing. LL Cool J rapped about sharks.
And people were with it. That was a nice size hit.
Fin.
Well,
that's from the song.
Well, that's why we were with we're going straight to the Wild Wild West. I was just like,
Wild West.
Hey, what you want? What you want? What you want?
Men in Black, another one. Like,
the Men in Black.
I would love to see a white, like, I would have loved to have a Will Smith song for what was it? Concussion or what was that movie? He's like Total Tour. Yeah. Like, why didn't he do a song for that movie?
Yeah, he was out of it by then. He said he stopped rapping.
Like, why didn't we get one for After Earth or 7 Pounds or?
Well, hell, we didn't even get one from Enemy of the State, which was in that.
Oh, that's a good one
too. Enemy of the State.
Oh, and Bait with Jamie Foxx is another one that was like kind of the same kind of like premise or whatever with like the state always like looking at everybody and seeing everything they do.
Yeah, Enemy of the State was a documentary.
Do you remember Bait, by the way, with Jamie Foxx?
I remember, but I didn't see it.
Like he's in prison, he gets hit with a brick, so they put like some kind of tracking. But when he's there, he goes, "Oh, this is my Mike Tyson." Yeah, and then he goes, "This is my Muhammad Ali."
My Muhammad.
Get it? Because he has part.
Yeah.
Funniest thing I've ever seen in the movie.
Amazing.
Laughed my ass off. I'm like, oh wow,
that's brutal.
So good.
So for the Mason, do you know who almost got casted for the part?
Arnold.
Yeah, so you know about that too. Yeah. Arnold got almost casted. Can you imagine Arnold like you don't hesitate with the knife?
Face Off was supposed to be him and Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
You know that.
I wish that happened.
I don't know. Like
I don't know. I think
that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Who would be Castor Troy?
Oh, so I forgot which one. I think Arnold didn't do bad. He's never done a bad guy, has he? So he would have
Freeze. Bad guy. Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
He was the star of that movie.
For sure.
For
sure.
Yeah,
I think by the way, one of these, like John Travolta or Nicolas Cage, one of them didn't want to be the bad guy, but once they explained, like, well, you're him, but then you're going to be the other guy because of the face swapping, so it's fine, you know. Oh, and the waterfall face thing, the face. waterfall. Improv. That was all John Travolta.
There's all John Travolta
dragging his nasty fingers on some kid's face. We have to talk about that movie. Man. There's so much in it.
Oh yeah, true. Hey, the first Terminator. No, Islington Girl and People's Front. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're right. Fine. The first movie. Hey,
got it. It wasn't him. Maybe Sylvester Stallone didn't want to be the bad guy. One of them.
Yeah.
Ooh, Cobra. That's another one for your show.
Oh, I'm gonna do a Cobra. That's for sure. Cobra will be a thing.
Fantastic.
You damn right. Cobra's coming soon. Probably within the next month soon.
Your disease. I'm the cure.
Sorry. Glinter. Did y'all hear the planned twin sequel called Triplets with Eddie Murphy as the I heard about that. They should have. That would have been one of those exceptional sequels. I'm like, you know what? I want to see it. With Eddie Murphy, along with DeVito and Schwartzy, I would love to have seen it.
I misread it because we were talking about Face Off. I was thinking they were going to bring in Eddie Murphy to be a third person in the swap. I'm like, wait, which one's going to do the blackface? Literal blackface.
Oh, what's up?
Never mind. That made more sense.
Hell, Marketing.
He was on my stream last Friday night. It was awesome to have him on. We were talking about what ifs, Elseworlds, multiverses, all comic stuff, and he had a great contribution to what if stories. So thanks for dropping by as usual, Makini.
Last thing, and I'll give somebody else a chance. By the way, Cobra was based on a book. After the movie came out, Sylvester Stallone told the writer, "Hey, you should change it to where like it was written by me, but you didn't write it."
Yes.
Yeah, but the book is mostly known because of my movie. So Fiso Vacto, there is basically my book. He tried to get the dude to say that to change it to where the book was written by him because he made a movie based on the book.
Isn't Rambo also edited as well? Or at least Rambo wasn't the First Blood wasn't intended to be the same First Blood in the movies.
Oh, I'm sure. Like they change books when they do movies. When? Yeah. No, I was against the blackface. Come on. So it may have seemed as though I was really excited at the concept of having that movie, but nah, maybe a little.
Beautiful. Oh man, I'm just trying to think. So I'm trying to imagine a world where I mentioned the sequel earlier. Like can you imagine Mason coming back? Like what would Mason do? I'm trying to think. What would Mason have done?
Mason came back for National Treasure.
That would be interesting because like Nicolas Cage, like he would go to find Mason or whatever for help. Like I don't know. Would he still be in the country? Because like people are looking for him.
Dead. Like
I also have one question regarding Mason's character as well. Because if he is really that dangerous to begin with, why is he still even alive?
Well, you just can't kill a guy. Yeah, you can imprison him without a trial for 30-something years, but
because he was also denounced.
Yeah,
he was also denounced by British as well.
They
wanted the microfilm.
Yeah, they're still waiting for their location of the microfilm. But Not sure why they kept his medical records and his next of kin on file. That seemed a little weird. Not his name. Just
that's because they needed a movie to happen. Like, all right, we need you alive so we could get a movie to happen.
The same reason they have two-way glass that can be broken by a quarter, like because the United States government is completely incompetent.
But they didn't make the quarter or the glass. Well, maybe the glass. I guess that's true.
All right.
Well, yeah, you're right that it didn't make the quarter, but that's a whole nother can of worms.
Well, no, I guess they made the quarter too.
Nah, they actually didn't, unfortunately.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who makes the quarters?
Federal Reserve.
No, they're basically part of the government.
Nah, well,
they're not supposed to be. I know.
Really. Well, I don't want to get McAfee, so I can't really answer that question.
McAfee. Wait, what happened to Pat McAfee?
Not Pat McAfee. Anthony John. Yeah, I know you know.
Yeah.
If you guys know, you know. The punter?
I
No,
don't
He
know.
used to be a
he's-
punter.
He's doing wrestling now. He's fine.
Oh, okay.
Probably, I'm clueless.
I can't wait to hear more about this other McAfee.
Oh boy.
Did he any uninstallation
Oh,
happen?
dude. All right, Glinter right here with this comment. The Fugitive, Mission Impossible, which she said Adam's family at Brady Bunch in the 90s knew how to
Brady
make
Bunch.
TV movies. Yeah. Oh, dude.
I love the Brady Bunch movies from the 90s. I
do too.
rewatched them. I laughed my ass off. It was so good.
McAfee, I
There
thought
you
the
go.
Suicide Squad was about the clip. What's up, Godzillionaire?
There you go, Godzillionaire. You get
Oh, that's a good
You're
comment.
picking up what I'm putting down.
Yes, I
Oh.
haven't heard of them.
In the
All
Fed.
So, I'm going to ask all our fine gentlemen here, like your final scores and thoughts, standing the test of time. Mr. Mad Mardigan, where do you see this movie as time has gone on?
I mean, it's so enjoyable. Like it's so good. I don't think it's as good as Speed. I think Speed
I
was
agree.
such a tight movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just how great it was on screen, but it made sense even when you think about it. Yeah, I know the bus jumping thing, but it tracked even with like within the movie. Everything happened and everything tracked. This one, not so much. Probably because they had 12 different writers. That probably didn't help the continuity of what was happening. But I enjoyed it a lot rewatching it earlier today, and I'm gonna go, oh gosh, like a 9.2. Oh, no, like a 9.2.
It's generous. All right.
I
Go for it.
I think it was that enjoyable. Not like that's not an objective score at all. Very subjective because I enjoyed it. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 9.2.
Thanks for keeping it real. All right. JM, tell us about your final thoughts and where do you score the movie?
I think my final thoughts on this movie is it's really fun. There's nothing that I could say apart from what Matt just said. I also think that having Sean Connery there was a big plus. Imagine if that was Arnold Schwarzenegger. It wouldn't have worked as good as it was. Character developments was okay. You could feel the excitement when you see them, or at least the protagonists in the screen. And I really enjoyed Ed Harris in this movie for some reason.
So good.
Because he was awesome.
Yeah, so good.
That's why.
I was actually picturing him if there was a Batman movie before, there was. He could be casted as the Black Mask based on his performance here. So
he's such a good bad guy and everything.
Yeah. Incredible bad guy. You also have Tony Todd and the others. Very enjoyable film. From you could watch this 10 years from now and still enjoy it. Was it as great as, let's say, Speed? Probably comparable. But I do agree, Speed has a lot more going on through it. I could rate it probably around a 9.5 or a 9.4 in this one.
Okay.
High 9.4, especially the type of movies that we're having nowadays. This would probably wipe everyone off their feet if this was actually re-released today.
Yeah,
straight up,
agreed.
100% jam. No, dude, spot on, my man, spot on. That's.
Last thing, I'll be done. I promise. Like,
No, go ahead.
You know how like when we're talking about boxing, right? And we try to like who's better than who, and a lot of it has to do with the era. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather Jr., even though he's one of the greatest boxers ever, especially defensively, he'll never be ranked as high as Muhammad Ali or any of the others because of the competition that he fought was nowhere near the level when you had Frazier and Foreman and all that, right? So if you take this movie out of '96 and put it in today, it would kill. But I think that it wasn't as successful because that year that it came out, holy shit, there was so much great movies coming out. I think it's kind of the same thing.
Agreed. No, wholheartedly agree.
That made sense. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Even though I think Floyd Mayweather gets on, I mean, because he did have Manny Pacquiao. He had some good fighters this year.
Ricky Hatton was undefeated at the time.
Ricky Hatton was undefeated.
And
he has some scouts.
Yeah. Adi. Oh man, when he fought him, the dude was like, I didn't know he was that fast. Like, holy shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, all good. Mr. Thomas Gilkey, would you like to add some closing thoughts?
Yes. Sir, I loved it. I think that this is one of the movies, apart from the James Bond films and apart from the last Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and apart from a few others, that Sean Connery will always be immortalized in and will always be remembered as being the former SAS agent and who's an escapee from the Rock. And when you look back at Nicolas Cage's career, this is one movie that I believe will stand out, and it will stand the test of time. Same with Ed Harris. The music is on point. I mean, I'm gonna put Hans Zimmer as the second greatest film composer of all time. First one being John Williams. Anyone who thinks differently,
I was gonna say John Williams.
Anyone who thinks differently can fight me outside in the parking lot.
I don't think they will, because those are the only two people can name.
Yeah, but there's a few others.
Yeah,
and Alan Silvestri and a few others, but pretty much. And
Danny Elfman
and a few, yes, and a few others. But this will the plot and the characters I felt were relatable, especially when in the beginning of the film with Ed Harris's character, and you find that he was a veteran, I think.
he was active duty. He was still active.
Oh, okay. And he was active duty, and how the plot turns a little bit, how his character turns a little bit. I thought it was really interesting. I give it a 9 out of 10.
All right, the man had spoken. 9 out of 10. Awesome, thank you, Thomas.
That's the lowest score we've had.
Yeah, right. That's the lowest one. All right. Well, I'm gonna try and make my quick, and I'm gonna let our excellent guest have his score, so he gets to be the final score. So,
oh no,
yeah, right. So yeah, I'm gonna have it fall on VW. But I love the cast of this movie. I love how the movie looks. I love the music. I love how it's paced, and once again, the fact that it's 2 hours and 16 minutes. And the fact that it feels a lot less than that, I'd say if you had told me, like if I had to guess, I probably would say like hour 40, hour 45. So it feels like a half hour shorter is a great feeling. Age has done beauty to this movie. The performances are great. I mean, Sean Connery is once again being absolutely fantastic.
You must not hesitate, Nick. You must not hesitate.
Why not? You must not. And I did it. I'm not hesitating to have him be the first one to give a score. And some gesture here. This one goes to 11. You hear him. He says it goes to 11. So I'm going to go with a 9.1 as the score. 9.1, yes. I'm a pointer type of guy. So
in Nick's defense, though, he does have two black guys on the stream. So and a Filipinian. Filipinian, is that correct?
Filipino.
Yeah. Either one works.
Philippian is a Bible book, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh yeah, that's
all right.
That's Old Testament.
Vigilante Williamson, tell us your final thoughts on The Rock.
So you guys mentioned the cast. The cast like really, really, really shine. Everybody shine,
top to bottom.
Everybody, top to bottom. You guys mentioned Candyman. Was it Tony Todd?
Yep.
And not just him. What's the guy that's like always the side guy? He's the fucking coach from
the one that talks like this.
Yeah. Whatever his name. I'm looking at the damn thing.
Are you talking the FBI agent?
No,
David Morse.
I think that is who I'm thinking of. Yeah, he's the second in command for Ed Harris. Yeah, David Morse. Yeah. Just everybody was good. Everybody did their part. Even, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but Nicolas Cage, even though you get Nicolas Cage, he's dialed back. You mentioned Face Off. He's way more Nicolas Cage in something like Face Off or National Treasure or later on, but he's dialed it back just enough. Not enough to overpower the dish that is this movie. So to kind of piggyback off your point, I have to kind of give a conditional score. Like when you mentioned the era, it came out in such a great era that I'm like, if you compare it to movies within that era, I give it like a, and I don't want to sound harsh, but like a 7.5 because of how good that era is. Now, if you compare it to now, it's like a 10 because we just don't get movies that good. We just they don't exist. You know what I mean? That movie had to go get week to week. Some of the better movies of the past 30 years. Where nowadays, I mean, honestly, Suicide Squad was like a breath of fresh air. I can't remember the last movie I enjoyed that much, even though it was plenty flawed. And actually, similarly, this was I talk about Nicolas Cage dialed back. This is definitely a Michael Bay film, but it was dialed back from what we expect. And the CG, I think, helped. The lack of it, I should say. But I mean, another reason I kind of would give it that conditional kind of low score is like, well, logic doesn't hold up at all. And I know so for some people, because I'm trying to be semi-objective, there are going to be some people, like I can imagine a 15-year-old watching this and saying, nah, I can't get with it.
Yeah, so that's what I like is them not focusing on trying to be smart. But I get what you're saying.
But I mean, the focus is elsewhere. The focus is on character. The focus is on. You guys talked about how things establish quickly. I got it. You know what? There's something about not having people in hallways talk about their feelings that moves the fucking plot along. Because you don't really need to. You show don't tell. We can see when someone's fucked up. We can see when someone's mentally fucked up. You don't need a 5-minute exposition scene to point out, oh man, I'm having an emotional thing. How long did it take for you to understand that Nicolas Cage was nervous about fucking being on this thing? He threw up, he was shaking on the plane, it was obvious, but he didn't talk about his feelings for 30 minutes beforehand. You know what I mean? It didn't draw things out. So like I would give my score. I'm gonna give my score. I'll just to be a little bit of a harsh critic, I'll say 8.5. But it's a great movie.
Oh, 8.5. Oh,
I didn't even know we were allowed to do that. Like Nick told us we had to be above a 9. Like for everything. Yeah. Like
Vigilante Williamson said that he'd probably give this a 10 today.
10 in this era. 7.5 in the era.
I would have rated it high then.
I should say 9. I should say 9. I would go 9.
You should. This will be the last time you're on the show.
Well, it's just more the institutional racism, so it is what it is.
There we go. See what happens?
Oh, okay. Anyways, it's been fun, and we gotta go. I gotta get up in the morning. I gotta get ready for Vegas. And Thomas Gilkey, I'll let you plug in first, so you can go on, get ready for bed, sir. So plug your channel, my friend.
All right, thank you so much for having me on, Mr. Nick Weiser. You can find me over on my channel talking about life. I don't do topical videos. I talk about what's going through my mind, my life stories, and all that stuff. And you can find a 10-hour stream, which had some incredible people: Orange Board, Fat Steven Seagal, Cuddles Casino. Mongo's Big Things, Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy. And I am known as the only person, as of yet, who, because we have this guy in this community called Mr. Shout out to Drunk 3PO. The Gilk Man. You don't know who Drunk 3PO is? Go and subscribe to him. But the Gilk Man can out-drinketh Drunk 3PO any day of the week. And that's my channel.
Oh, all good. Hey, thank you, man. I plugged your channel right over here. It's up to the Gilkinator right over here. Thank you, sir. You go have a good sleep, and I look forward to meeting you in Las Vegas, my friend. Now go to sleep.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sir.
All right. See you in a few days, my man. All right, Mr. J.M. Cruz at the Stay at Home podcast. Plug your channel, my friend. What you got in the next day or two?
First and foremost, thanks to Nick and also the panel for having me here. As you all know, I'm pretty much on the other side of the world in the Philippines. And as far as what I'm doing this week, not going to Vegas, obviously, but I'll be discussing the Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie with a friend of mine on my page, and that will be around 9 a.m. EST, the US, 9 p.m. here. the next week after that, another superhero movie, which is The Dark Knight with the content creator.
Nice,
So
dude.
it's pretty much a slam. But I would like to invite some of you guys over for a panel also sometime in the future. It's just about the time zones, and hoping you guys will be more or less free sometime in the near future. And also, thank you so much for watching this episode, guys. It means a lot to all of the content creators like us, and also Nick, who's a very incredible person, and also with Matt as well. Not
Oh,
not
thank you.
forget VW. Big fan
that's
of
okay.
yours, man.
No, dude, it's a pleasure to have you on. And yes, we will get on. We got to plan out the time zones. Once we do, I'm sure we'll figure out somewhere where we can work out. Because I'd love to appear on your channel, my friend. It'd be a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'd love it. So,
Let's
especially if you're
talk
talking
about some
stuff like that.
some Asian stuff like
Oh, I'm out.
no, man, I'm not finished. Like the raid or something. But I would like to reserve
I'm back
it here. This
I'm
channel.
back in.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks.
No problem. All right, Mr. Mad. It's all you.
Sorry. I was looking up Weezer gifts so I can reface, but that's something else. Yeah, as we all know, Mama Susan doesn't allow people to. Well, it makes it very hard for people to sub to me because it's not me because I'm adorable and funny. But yeah, if you want to give it a shot, try. We have another Neil Brin movie coming up on tomorrow at 3 p.m. Tomorrow's big day. I got Street Smarts at 3 p.m. And then Culture and I do a show on his channel called Matt and Culture Do It live on Wednesdays after Street Smarts stream. That's what it's called. And then I have like the dump. I'm one of the peanuts over there. One of the peanuts in the dump.
You could take a dump with the guys tomorrow.
No. I'm a peanut in the dump. Anyway,
In the dump.
everlasting, always there. Can't be digested. I don't know why. I can't remember why I came up with it, but it works. And I don't know. I think that's it. Yeah, right. Oh, it's such a long day. But yeah, then Saturday we have Street Smarts again. Other than that, I will be in Las Vegas in spirit. Oh, you know what? No, we're actually take back everything I just said. Culture Casino is in Vegas, so we will not have him on Street Smarts. That's fine. It should be easy to replace him. I mean, how hard can it be to get somebody to go in there like, this movie, yeah, it's not that hard. I guess the show that we do after that won't be happening either. Anyways, so that's it for me.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt. As always,
yeah. Did any of that make sense? Yeah,
actually, yes, it did. I don't care if it didn't. All right. And our special guest closing out, Vigilante Williamson. Take it away, my friend. Let me highlight your.
Maybe this is a hot take. Weezer is rated. Like their first three albums, first three are actually pretty good.
Oh my god, Matt.
And I know
you're a Weezer night?
No, because the rest of the albums suck. Like bad. Like but they're rated. They're not like overrated or underrated. They're like exactly what you think they are. Band. They're a mainstream band. There are better bands. There are worse bands. And they're a band. So they're exactly rated. But I have stuff. Usually Wednesday will be culture crime fighting, but similar to Mad, the Vegas thing has kind of taken my partner out of commission. So I'm probably just gonna do a solo stream or something Wednesday, and then Friday actually host Matt's show on the fucking Cartel Lounge.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. And then Thursday I'll probably do another stream. So I'll be streaming the next 3 days. 2 on my channel, so please sub, and then 1 on Fireball's channel. So please sub them as well. And the first album is really good. Second album, I like Pinkerton. I like Pinkerton. I even like the third album, but after that, it gets too messy.
I'll be honest. Of everyone on this panel, you were the last one I would think would know anything about Weezer.
Yeah, I listened to quite a bit. I've listened.
All right.
Yeah.
Must be the jack of all casuals here.
Yeah.
And he says, for $5, see you all later in Vegas, you racist. Oh, no Vegas edition, Vigilante. Oh, thank you for the $5, jack of all casuals. Jesus Christ. Anyways. All right. So Toxic Tuesday will happen next week. Next week's movie, you may have heard of it. It's got some guy named Arnold Schwarzenegger in it and another guy named Carl Weathers. And it had some line with the words, Dylan, you son of a bitch. 2.
Such a great movie.
We're doing
The
Predator
Sixth
next
Day.
week.
Oh, damn
The Sixth
So close.
Predator is one of the greatest movies ever done, ever.
So this making me a little hot water. I like Predator 2 more. I
two's
enjoyed
good.
Predator 2 so
Predator
much
2 is
more.
underrated.
Good.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
so
I like
good.
it more.
So
But
good.
Danny Glover and then being that's super underrated.
Yeah, it's a
Very.
great movie.
underrated.
It's a great
So
movie.
good.
But
I enjoyed it. I watched both. I've rewatched both of them. Jesus, I do watch a lot of old movies. I rewatched both of them. I like Predator 2 more.
No, hey, that's fine. But we're doing. If you want to come on for Predator 1, we're going to be doing that. It's going to be great. So yeah, Predator next week for Toxic Tuesday.
I'll be
Cancel
here.
Mad.
You ain't got
Yeah.
no time to bleed, fellas. Ain't got time to bleed.
By the way, I had already put this in my calendar for every Tuesday. But
Okay, good.
So
Well, then
thanks for inviting
can
me.
stay. Yeah, no. I was gonna. This is me saying, hey, if you want to stay on here, you can stay on here as long as you want. So you're
I'm here.
official. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, humans, it's been good. It's been absolutely real. You all have a magical, fantastical evening, and I'll see you all soon.
As I suspected, 32